Every night in the United States, 747,000 people end their days homeless.
Every night in the United States, 297,600 of those people are only children.
Every night in the United States, almost 1 million people go to sleep uncertain, hungry, and hopeless. People just like me.
People just like you. Loneliness and the feeling of being unwanted is the greatest poverty of all.
The Evans High School Beta Club has produced a documentary highlighting the stories of several homeless individuals in the Orlando area.
There are 6 billion people in the world. Somebody can help.
Somebody can make a difference.
Somebody can take a stand.
That somebody can be you.
You know, I was brought up in a very Midwestern Americana home with good values in it.
I was born in Chicago, Illinois, and my mother, she died at childbirth, and my father, he was killed in Vietnam in 1968. I was like 3 years old, and I mean, wow, I went to Catholic school. I mean, I grew up in a $196,000 house. I mean, I couldn't have had a better life.
Since I was little, I don't really have much memories with my father other than looking back at like photo albums and seeing pictures of him. And then I remember one trip to Disney, things like that. But mostly it was my mom. My mom and my dad divorced. She quickly found a job at McDonald's. It was something easy, quick, and at the time temporary. But it ended up becoming her career of sort. And now, like, looking back on it, it's kind of sad because in my opinion, there's no progress, there's no growth. And my mom, she stays in the same place, either because she's scared to move on, she doesn't think she can do it, I don't know. It's really sad seeing someone that you care about just stay in the same place and go nowhere. She's been at McDonald's, I think more than 10 years, and she's just a regular cashier. Many times I even take a little baby step. I tell her, you know, why don't you apply for a manager position? She's like, oh no, I don't think I can get it. Or she'll be like, oh, I don't want that much stress.
I wanted to be an airline pilot because of the glamour and the promise of faraway places.
I was married for 18 years, and that was very difficult. My husband became an alcoholic, and finally we divorced, and I became a massage therapist, actually in Tampa. And left Tampa after 5 years and went up to Western Washington and lived there for 12 years and was a massage therapist.
Like, some of these people like to be on the streets. Other ones would like to get a job, work, and get off the streets. What the public needs to be aware of is that the homeless people are not all crooks. You got some that were college professors and all this. Now, I'm former military.
I got a 2-year associate degree in communications from Knoxville, Tennessee in 1986. I worked for 14 years straight for FedEx.
I work for a company called Durastress. I also work for Marvin Clyde Zander's Funeral Home, which is in Apopka, Florida. I worked for them for 15 years.
When I was like maybe 9 years old, my grandfather, we lived in like a rural part of Atlanta, and he used to make this stuff called corn whiskey. It was like a buck. I was like 8 years old, right? And I used to like sneak in there and drink some of it, you know what I'm saying? That's how it started. That's how that thirst for alcohol came about, you know what I'm saying? That's how it started. And then it just multiplied and multiplied over the years. I mean, I quit school behind that, you know. I mean, I was just like you. I used to go by homeless people at home. It's like, ugh, that's never gonna be me. But little did I know, here I am, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean, homelessness doesn't discriminate on, I mean, it doesn't, anybody can be homeless, you know what I'm saying? At any given time. You know, it's most people right now just one paycheck away from being homeless. You know, it's like an epidemic, a disease. And I think it's getting worse, you know what I'm saying? You know, you can put a Band-Aid on it for now, but what about, you know, it is what it is. It just, unless you out here can come out here and live 6 months, and you won't need an interviewer. You can write your own book and answer your own questions.
In 2004, I found myself making a decision to go back to Indiana because my mother was dying. And I went back and nursed them back to health. It was kind of progressive. I had a breakdown, an emotional breakdown, and it slid into mental illness. And my parents didn't understand. Well, I didn't even understand. And they kicked me out of the house. My car was stolen in Indiana. All of my addresses were gone, all of my contacts, and I've been homeless ever since.
I discovered I had some medical issues that was going to change my career path. Instead of handling it assertively, I went ahead and ended up becoming an alcoholic at that point and tried to drink my problems away, and I've been on a roller coaster ever since. Well, basically 7 years of up and down, most of that time dry though.
Well, my home first, my job second. My mom died in 2003, and I mean, from there, everything just trickled on down.
I mean, I'm homeless because of drugs, you know, and alcohol, you know, and I've had plenty of opportunities to straighten the ship, you know, through ministries and stuff, and I always seem to trip up and land, you know, right back in the same situation. So I'm not gonna make no excuse, you know, I'm not gonna talk about Obama or Bush. The choices start with yourself, you know, that's where it all starts at, you know, so we have a choice every day to get up to do the right thing or to get up and do the wrong thing. So.
See, I moved from Mississippi, and then because that's when like we was in the lower part of Mississippi, and then like Hurricane Katrina came and then kind of flooded our place, so we really couldn't do.
We finally had nice furniture, and our house was looking like a home, and all of a sudden something happens and we have to give it all up. And I think that was probably the hardest thing that I had to go through, because it's not really losing the money, losing, you know, going away from school. It's more, we built up to see everything go away. And we had to move to the Dominican Republic. We stayed in the capital for a little while with my grandma and my aunt. My mom has a house there, but because my grandma's very sick, she has to rent out the top floor, and my grandma and my aunt live on the bottom floor by themselves. And we stayed there for a couple days, but there wasn't much space. We can tell that we were being a burden. I feel bad thinking back on it now, that I was really selfish and not really supporting my mom, who was probably going through way more than I was.
Well, once Mom passed away, it took 3 years to settle the inheritance frenzy. Okay, that's when family turns on you, when money comes into play. And then I decided to leave the godforsaken island, that everywhere I went I would see Mom and all these memories. So people and places and things, and so I got this bit of cash in my pocket and I said, I'm heading out, I want to leave. I was living in her house on the floor with no power, not working, couldn't work, psychologically messed up. I had a dog as a companion. You know, life is what happens to you while you're busy making other plans. That's a John Lennon quote. And in this case, I chose Orlando because there was one person that I knew here who was a cousin. And I just got on the plane and got here and lived for a while on the money until the money ran out, as it always does. And then lost my car, got evicted. There was substance abuse. And then wound up at the Coalition for the Homeless, sleeping on the floor.
To be honest with you, the only thing that gets me down on a day-to-day survival, here go 300 people in front of you for lunch, for dinner. Here come 300 more people in front of you for dinner. You know, I mean, really, I'm surviving day to day off the charity of other people, actually. Prayer services, like, they got 800 people in there at 4 o'clock in the morning, and they've been working out there for years, so you can't really get out to work, you know what I'm saying? And most of the places that you go to, they say you're over-experienced or overqualified, which is a joke. It's just not to hire you, just an excuse. So what you gonna do? To tell you the truth, in my mind, I'm really not homeless, and I'm not rock bottom. I'm just down, but I'm not out. See, that's the difference. My mind is not homeless at all. I'm not poor at all. I got something that money can't buy, a divine spirit. I mean, it's deep, man. It's more than you even, I mean, you're a kid, you know, and I wouldn't wish this on nobody.
It's when everything's been stripped away from you, when everybody's done turned their backs on you. Well, us homeless people, we're getting tired of being out here on the streets.
The thing that breaks my heart the most is the multiple people that I see that have just literally given up, and they don't try anymore. They don't live in a shelter, they live out in the woods, they live under, you know, places you hear about them being killed, you see them, and that's a heartbreak.
The electricity goes out almost every hour, and a lot of times you don't know when it comes back. And it was really a shock. Like, everything was so different. Here you have running water all the time, you have electricity, you can do whatever you want, and you kind of take it for granted sometimes, because there it's totally different. Like, just to use the bathroom. You use the bathroom, you can't even flush the toilet. You have to go grab a bucket of water and spill in the toilet, then grab another one, and it's just for it to flush. Or when you want to brush your teeth, you don't think about it, but it's a lot of water that you end up wasting. So you got to get used to just changing your habits. And I can't even imagine what most people go through when, like, if they don't have that available. Some people don't even have water. They have to find some way to take a shower.
Well, I'm homeless with a friend of mine. On a daily basis, I get up and I look for work. If I don't get out at the labor pool or labor halls, what I do is I'll just go around to various places and eat. A lot of people just depend on that. You can go, you know, you can get up every morning and you say, "Bump going to work, I'm gonna eat," because people gonna come out and feed. And then you get stuck in that pattern before you know it. 10 years done went by and you still in the soup line. If I get work that day, it's a little different story. If I get enough work for a week or whatever. I mean, because right now, I'm not making excuses, but it's hard on the job situation. If I get out with a guy that's cutting trees down that come by one of the homeless shelters, I get out with him, I work a whole week, I may make $400 or whatever, then I can get me a hotel for a couple weeks, stuff like that. But it don't last. I mean, what's $400? You and another girl, it's nothing.
I balance my home life and my school life by, I gotta say, prayer. That's how I did, because I had to go, I usually just pray to God just to help me through it. And then I would just try to think that somebody is going through something worse, having a problem worse than mine. Sometimes it's kind of hard because Like when I was going through a lot, I sometimes wanted to cry, but I didn't want everybody to know my problem. And sometimes I couldn't even focus. Sometimes I just put my head down just because I just don't know how to do it. So I just try to act like everything was normal. That when I go home, I just deal with all that problems. Wondering where we will sleep at, where we gonna eat, where we gonna take a bath or use the restroom in. We had to stretch the money. Like our parents would give us like $20 just to feed all 7 of us. We had to compromise. We had to think. So we had to like. When they gave us canned food, we couldn't really do nothing with it because we didn't have a stove or anything with it. So we mainly ate like crackers and stuff like that. And then sometimes like we would be so hungry, we would just. And my mom, she's a diabetic, like type 2, and she had no medicine. And so sometimes she would get so sick to the point that she would have like seizures or something, and then because she couldn't like eat nothing healthy or anything. Sometimes I feel like I had to be like mature. I had to grow faster because my parents really couldn't do nothing. I love my little sister and my brothers, and I just wish that I could, like, some of my own time, like, be like a regular kid. One time my sister asked me, why are we living, like, in this place? Why we always have to go to, the restaurants and everything. And I kind of broke my heart because I don't know why.
This is anywhere I can. I got a little place where I stay down. Nah, it's not no hotel or anything, just a little place.
For tonight, I'll try and find a place out of sight where I won't attract anyone's attention, either property owner or police officer, and just try to get a nap.
Usually I just sleep out, sleeping bags or whatever, and I just make do. Get me some off and spray on me and try not to get bit up by the mosquitoes. Police will charge you with camping, depends on your attitude, once he wake you up or whatever, but I don't sleep in areas where it's visible, where they can see, you know.
We end up in a hotel, which was everything in one place. Like, there was only one bed and the kitchen in the same place. It was horrible. And there was 7 of us, and then my uncle had to move because he had no place to live. So my mom said, move in with us. And he had him and his girl, and she just had a baby. And she was a preemie, and she had a lot of medical issues. It was bad. We had the baby to sleep in a bed because they didn't have a crib or nothing. And the rest of us slept on the floor.
240 men sitting, lying on the floor, no mattresses left, the 1/4-inch little mats that they put there, just a whole concrete floor with the yellow lines, like a small parking lot for a carcass, a body to lie there, get awakened at 5:30 in the morning with a kick and saying, up and at 'em, get out of here. Well, I wake up and I feel this warmth on my leg. I look over and the gentleman next to me had urinated, and I guess he was just too old or too tired or too beat up and just didn't care to get up and go to the bathroom, so he decided to relieve himself right there and then. So this river, this yellow river, comes over and just saturates my jeans. When I wake up and I see that and I feel that and I realize what it is, I wake up and face reality, and I said, that's it. My mom and my dad did not bring me, and God did not put me on this earth to be in these circumstances. I'm able-bodied. Yeah, I gotta do something.
Always want razors or shaving cream or something, because a lot of people, or scissors to cut her hair. And it's always toothbrush or a washcloth, and always soap, maybe somewhere they could share other than the coalition or homeless, because that's for the people who live at the coalition. Or they said something about a community center and get some coffee or something.
Getting, so that you're not homeless anymore, getting a job. That is the most difficult thing. No cell phone. If you don't have any of these ways to address an employer and to get calls back, it's very, very difficult. And I don't have computer skills yet, so that made it even more difficult for me.
Most days I stay at the rescue mission on Central. It helps a lot because I can leave some of my baggage there. And for $6 I get an evening and a morning meal and a place to sleep and shower. You know, they have 2 floors with approximately 50 men on each floor every night in bunk beds, if you have $6 to pay for it. And it's first come, first serve for the limited number they have available, and it usually fills up pretty early.
Orlando has been one of my best experiences. The OBT clinic here is wonderful for medical and dental. It's the best I've ever seen. And having the Goodwill Industries, to be able to use the telephone for business reasons locally is excellent. I'm fortunate enough to be protected and have loving overseers in the Salvation Army. And so those things, and then they will actually, when they can, they hand out job opportunities. And every day we are to go out, and one of the things we earn if we're not able to pay rent, which is $9 a day, we do 5 work searches every day, or we have appointments, or we go to school. So that's what my days are comprised of.
Most of them don't have any place to sleep. Like they could get one of these empty buildings and furnish it and everything, and let them stay there. I sometimes go to Daily Bread, and they give you a couple things.
Usually, the food is free. Like they finna feed over there at 3:30. They fed at over there on downtown. They fed over there at like 12 o'clock, and then they feed again at 8 o'clock. I have a brother who used to be in the same situation like 11 years ago. He got hold to a nice ministry, and now he's doing what he got to do. Now he's a supervisor on his job. He's married. He hasn't looked back. So it can be done. It's a choice that we have to make.
Right now I live at the Coalition for the Homeless, which is located at 639 West Central Avenue right here in Orlando. And I also go to the Daily Bread, which is located on Glen Street. We need to start focusing on our people. You know, we need to stay here. You know, they always says help starts at home, then it spreads abroad.
Probably going into middle school, I never really knew. I was so young. I didn't know that we had financial problems. I thought it was normal to always have welfare and, you know, food stamps, things like that. But right now, we have Section 8. And we have some food stamps. I'm not sure the levels, but we have a small amount of money for groceries. There were many years that my mom tried to apply for food stamps here in Florida, and we kept getting rejected because she made too much. So she had to, you know, cut on her hours, because although we were denied for making too much, it didn't seem like we were making a lot because we weren't eating. We didn't have enough food. But I didn't know that there was so much money going wasted for those that do qualify. I don't know why they don't claim it, or maybe they just don't know about that it's there, about the resources and the help that there is.
First thing is, don't lose hope. Don't become hopeless, okay? Number 2, seek out the services. Here at Second Harvest Food Bank of Central Florida, we managed to distribute 18.2 million pounds of food. The community knows best what's good for the community. They come here, they acquire product, take it back to their churches or community centers, and distribute to their community. And I personally am in charge of the 3 major childhood hunger programs.
When you pass people by and you can tell that they have backpacks or they don't look like they're clean, don't judge them. Say a prayer for them. Because like my son even has an excellent job in Western Washington, and yet he knows that almost every American, middle American, is 2 or 3 paychecks away from being homeless. So don't judge, smile, recognize them. So many feel so lost because people won't look, they glance away and won't even look. So that's what I'd say. And study! Study math, science, you know, so we can excel in those things.
To help contribute, I'm gonna tell you what you can do to help contribute. Stay in school, get an education. And first and foremost of all, don't let nobody lead you down the wrong road. Don't let them tell you that homelessness does not exist with you kids, because it does. Y'all can be right out here with us.
A lot of people really, truly, honestly don't know that people need help. But maybe this would, that's why I agreed to do this, because maybe this would, spread the word around a little bit, and maybe people have a little compassion or whatever. Let's love and get along with each other. When you love, that's all you need. That one word.
I knew this girl, and everybody knew she left in a shelter home, and then they started treating her differently. But some kids, they're kind about it, and there's some kids that just like don't have a heart and just make fun of her. And I'm like, they don't know about me, and then I'm in the background like, I know how she feels. Like, you don't want people to know that you're going through things, because people always want to see the good side and never want to see the bad side. To kids that in a similar situation, that it will get better, that as long as you have hope, and if you like, for me, if you keep praying, probably someone will answer your prayer. Or that if you just talk to somebody, probably you can lift some of the burden off for you. And for the kids that don't treat kids so nicely, imagine that you was in their shoe. How would you feel? Would you accept how other people would treat you?
Oh yeah, I'm hurt. I'm still hurt. And I try not to dwell on it and try to live life one day at a time. But something that'll never go away, it'll fade. And they say time heals all wounds. Well, yeah, maybe it ameliorates, it helps, but it doesn't totally heal. The scar remains. That I have been able to rebound. And not only that, that I have a sense of redemption, because what I'm doing is not selfish. Now it's selfless. When I see the kids that I serve, and we as a food bank serve, it helps heal that scar, because I'm doing something for the community. I'm giving back. It's a sense of redemption. Makes me feel part of the solution, not part of the problem anymore.
3 years ago, being homeless really wouldn't be what it is today as what I think about it. Like today I see it more as it helped me get where I am. Because if I never became homeless, I don't think I would be here. I don't think I would have met the people that I needed to meet to change my life. And I don't think that I'd be the person that I am today, and I'm really grateful that these things have happened to me because a lot of good has come from them.
Thanks to this guy over here that usually brings blankets and stuff, I got plenty of blankets.
Many are looking for a handout. What a lot of people who are homeless need is a hand up, because they do have potential, more than you might ever think. There's so much talent out there and potential. The homeless need a hand up.
What would it take to get you out of this? How do you think
A
someone
good
else
job.
can do a good job?
Yeah, something that pays me about $15 more.
I went to the Dominican Republic, then I went back to Boston, and I didn't know if I was ever going to come back to school or what was going to happen with our whole family. So it was scary.
Other than give me a job, I don't know.
Place to stay?
Well, I'll take care of that once I take care of the other things.